We represent municipal employees across Canada in pretty much all occupations. We have 665 locals and over 1,000 collective agreements with our municipal employers. Our municipal locals negotiate one at a time with our municipal employers. There's very little central bargaining because, of course, municipalities raise their own revenue. While municipal governments have their own austerity policies, austerity hasn't been centrally imposed on our members in this sector, and each local union is able to negotiate modest gains or at least to hold on to what they have in almost all circumstances, even since 2008. The challenges that municipal employees in Canada face more are the challenges to keep our jobs in the public service. Municipal politicians have bought into the notion that they can't raise taxes, and they've also faced pressure on funding from higher levels of government, so they look everywhere to try and provide services as cheaply as they can, and particularly it's been an issue of building new infrastructure. Where municipalities decide to build new infrastructure, they're most likely to look at privatizing or the sort of privatizing by stealth through public-private partnerships. That's one municipality at a time, and we have to fight it one municipality at a time. It means forming alliances with our social allies and with councillors who are supportive of the trade union movement on each council. Sometimes we win. We've had a couple of recent victories in British Columbia. It seems to be a bit of a wave in that province right now. We won a referendum in a community called Comox. We convinced a city council they had to put this question to the people: should the wastewater treatment be public or not? And the people said yes. Just last week, a nearby community called Souk decided that they would not only bring their water treatment back in-house, but they would take the opportunity to use it for more public service, training other water operators or wastewater operators to meet higher standards. And so we hope to see more public-public partnerships that way. Our federal government, for the last decade, tied funding for municipal infrastructure to public-private partnerships. We are hoping we have the opportunity with a new federal government to untie that funding, to make it possible for councils to determine what's the best deal for their communities. Would they rather have public services or private services? And it gives us a good opportunity to go in and argue our point of view, and for our allies to do the same. When we make our arguments to municipal councils about why it's important to have services in-house or bring services back in-house, we often turn to examples from other countries and other municipalities to make those arguments. So any victory that happens in Europe, we're able to put that forward in the City of Toronto or the City of Victoria in Canada and say, look, if Paris needs public water, we need public water. So sharing the information through the Public Services International Local and Regional Government Network is very useful for us, or through any union, central union affiliations. And that's what we would hope to see. More research that can be shared about, particularly perhaps about some of the corporations that are involved on a global level, and more examples that we can use to convince our homegrown politicians that they should take another look. Our message, I think, is always the same, that public services are more accountable, have at their core the object of service and not profit, and that there's no room for profit in public services. Public services are best delivered publicly by people who are dedicated to that objective.